Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Friday, August 24th, 2012. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. Futures are trading down about 2 points at the moment to around $13.98 per contract. A little dip in the futures. One thing you want to watch for today is the dollar. U.S. dollar index is getting a little bit of a bid. Finally, this thing has been beaten down really over the past few weeks. Today, the dollar is catching a little bit of a bid. U.S. dollar index futures are trading higher by about 24 cents at the moment. But anytime that the dollar starts higher, always be aware that the dollar will often fall once the U.S. Markets open at 9:30. So once the New York Stock Exchange rings the opening bell, the dollar is always susceptible to a little bit of a fall. It is a Friday. Markets generally get propped up on Fridays, so watch for that. You never know. Maybe we'll have a sell-off day, but that's usually unlikely. Normally, the markets do get propped up on Fridays, so we'll see how it plays out there. But watch that dollar. If the dollar starts to fall, then traders should be on guard that the markets could get propped up a little bit today. I don't think a big day by any stretch, but nonetheless, could take a weak start. Open and reverse it to the upside. So that's generally what we see. So watch the dollar. You could already see the dollar actually starting to pull back a little bit. But it's going to be interesting to see how it finishes out by the end of the session. So once again, as the dollar moves down, futures are only down a point and a half now to really 13.9850. And again, the dollar trade is still very much intact in my opinion. I know that the markets have moved lower with the dollar falling as well over the past couple of days. But just realize that this trend has been, this inverse relationship has been intact for 10 years. It just doesn't go away that easily. Okay, let's take a look at some gold and some silver. If the dollar trading higher, obviously we would expect both gold, silver, and oil to pull back, and that is the case today. Gold is trading lower by $5 to $16.67 an ounce. Let's take a look at the GLD. Here you'll see the GLD trading right around 161.67. It closed at 161.89. So you're seeing it down just a touch from yesterday's close on the GLD, which is what we use for a proxy for gold. Let's take a look at oil this morning. Light sweet crude is trading down 31 cents to $95.96. Let's take a look at the USO today. You'll see the USO trading down at 35.77. USO closed at 35.76 yesterday. So down a little bit, just down a penny on the USO. Not really that big a deal. Remember, the GLD and both the USO will trade after spot crude and spot gold are closed for the session. Okay, these ETFs will trade till 4 o'clock. So again, not really that big a deal. Watch the dollar today. If the dollar goes down, oil can go higher. There's nothing saying oil can't go up again. Same with gasoline. Gasoline making a new 52-week high yesterday, tagging the $60 level on the UGA. And if you take a look here, you'll see how this thing has really just continued to trade higher. So again, if dollar goes down, gasoline should go higher as well. There's nothing telling us that gasoline is done unless the dollar starts to reverse to the upside. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Let's take a look at some stocks in the news. There's a few things out here. We're going to start off with Autodesk. That seems to be the big one today. Autodesk is really getting hit pretty sharply. The stock closed yesterday at 35.71. Take a look at this morning. It's trading at 27.52. Now, there is support in this level. Right here, right around this area for Autodesk, there is some support around here. But I would have to really look a little bit lower when I see this kind of a long base. And it's a pretty strong gap down. It's a very strong gap down, in fact. I would probably have to look down at the $25 area. You'll have some support there, and then it's going to be $23.01, and then $20.41. So there's a little bit of support here, but it's been there pretty much all day yesterday after the closing bell, and it's there all day today. So it's building a bearish base. But then you're going to have to look at $25. Or a Pierce of 25, maybe $24.95, and then $23, and then $20.41. Those will be your respective support levels for Autodesk, okay? So keep that on the radar. Another stock making big headwinds today is MSG, Madison Square Garden. This is a big pop today. Stock closed yesterday at $40.25. It's trading up at 45. I would not be a buyer up here. I'm not saying to fade it because I don't have a lot of data to work off of. I also don't have, I wasn't able to do the mathematical calculations to find the resistance levels. But this stock is overbought, okay? It's severely overbought. So it's going to be very, very tough to pick out the resistance point where it will pull back. But I don't know if Madison Square Garden has a lot more left in it. If you own it, congratulations. I'd trail your stop real tight, and I'd lock in some profits. Not saying that the stock's a bad stock by any stretch, but what I am saying is that it's overbought, severely overbought, and it may not have much more juice, and it could be a potential institutional fade. So be careful there with Madison Square Garden Network. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the chance this morning to figure out where the mathematical points would be on this thing for resistance. But nonetheless, be very, very careful with this one, as it should not have much more upside. I'm going to lean towards $46 just as a gut feeling, and just looking at the way this thing is formed, I'd say $46. After that, it would be $49, but $46 should be pretty good resistance somewhere in that vicinity. So again, nice pop up. It's traded as high as 45, almost pulled back a little bit, but it can get to 46 and then 49. I'm thinking 46 probably would be enough there, but it's very tough when you don't have. This is a new issue. This stock has not been around all that long. If you take a look at the daily chart, you'll see that it really just debuted last year, so it doesn't have that much data in there. Better on a weekly chart. You can just see February of 2011 it came public, so there's just not a lot to work with here. But nonetheless, it's a great move. If you own it, just lock in some gains or trail your stop loss. Again, I don't know if it gets much past $46. Let's take a look at Salesforce. Ticker symbol is CRM. Salesforce.com, another cloud name right here. This stock this morning is trading down. Was trading below the 138 level. However, it has bounced back. I do have levels for Salesforce. Right now, you're going to look at 135.65 if it gets there, and 132.04, also 128. So watch those levels right there for Salesforce. All good support levels. Could see intraday bounces off all of those levels. Okay. So I'll repeat those: 135.65, 132.04, 128. Okay, those are the respective support levels. Stock is bouncing back a little bit here. We'll see if it does break down. If it does break back below 138, those levels will come into play. Let's take a look at Aruba Networks. Ticker symbol is ARUN, ARUN. Let's take a look here. Stock is having a really, really good gap up this morning. But the resistance levels that I have on this thing are as follows: 1960, and then you're going to have around the 2150, 59 to 2185 levels, and then it's going to be all the way up to $24. So again, watch those levels. Again, it's going to be 1960, and then after that, it's going to be right around the 2160 to 2180 level. Hard to pinpoint it, as I'm coming up with two different calculations there this morning, but those would be your resistance levels. If it breaks above that, it goes to $24, but that would be a big stretch to get to 24. I don't see that happening. But either way, you want to know the levels. They'll come in handy in the future. All right, so that's what I'm seeing there. Another one that's moving today is Eli Lilly. I'm not sure of the news here, but this is a pretty strong gap up this morning. Stock was trading at 42.40 yesterday. Look at the big gap up today at 46. I don't know if there's much more resistance, or if it can travel much higher from here. The levels that I'm looking at right now are not the greatest out there, but I'm thinking that this $46 area should be some resistance, and then it's going to be 47.75. Okay, 47.75 should be very good resistance around there, and obviously after that it's $50. Okay, so those are your resistance levels for Eli Lilly. Could be pullbacks off those levels. Again, future's only down 50 cents now. It is a Friday. Dollar is already starting to fade, and you have to watch that. When the dollar starts to fade, futures will get a little bit of a bid. That's kind of how it works out here. Again, every trade is a dollar trade. There's a lot of news coming out of Europe today, so be on guard for that. I kind of skipped over it a little bit, but You're going to have Angela Merkel. Really, she's waiting on some news from the Troika, and then you're going to have the European Central Bank said that they're waiting on a vote coming out of Germany, which I've talked about before. So that's coming into focus. There's just a lot going on there. You can check it out yourself. Also, Apple computer will be very volatile today, or it could. The patent dispute is still going on, but there was something settled where Apple can't sell certain phones, Samsung can't sell certain phones, and now there's another lawsuit going on with Motorola Mobility. And again, we'll just have to see. Apple could just be real choppy right now until these lawsuits or have a final decision made and they're finally settled. All right, with that said, everybody, it's a Friday. Have a great trading day. I will see you all on the charts a little bit later this afternoon. Take care, everyone. God bless, and I'll see you Monday.